Hi, YouTubers. How's everything doing? I'm hoping that everybody's able to share a little bit of spring-like weather wherever you are, whether it be the west or the south. Yeah, be the north. Some of you guys are still got some snow, whatnot. If that be the case, I feel for you. Here it is. Where the weather should be nicer, and yeah, hang in there, it'll be all right. It should straighten out soon. We haven't exactly straightened out here in my neck of the woods yet either. We don't have no snow, but we're dealing with some wind and how should I put this? It's kind of warm, very comfortable, to downright chilly, kind of contrast. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about here is this John Deere 544 machine that I've been trying to do like a will it start type thing with it, and yeah, what really wound up happening here, I wanted to make it a will it start. It hasn't been a pleasurable experience. The environment hasn't been the greatest. I've always got people in my way, as you might see as a couple of my videos that I have put up. Yeah, just short clips, whatnot. By the time I get done editing, yeah, they wind up being short. Not what I want. I just haven't been able to do what I really wanted to do. I'm going to put it like this. I took on, some work, and this isn't like one of them things where it's at my leisure, nor is it make my own environment. It's, hey, come on, let's go, we gotta roll type of environment. For what I'm doing, honestly, I don't like it. You know how stuff goes, I think. Well, what we wound up doing, okay, first things first, this machine, I started on it after somebody else was fooling with it. Prior to that, the machine sat for 10 years. Yeah, it was picked up locally. I don't know the whole story on that. I do know it's local. It was a nursery machine. It's a pretty good sized thing if you see in the videos that I've put up. It didn't run, it didn't turn even. Apparently, from what I think I understand, they pulled the injectors out and they soaked it with solvents. Well, actually, mystery oil, which isn't, the worst thing in the world on them. And at some point, I don't know, I wasn't filled in. It took some time, I guess. They started barring it, what have you, and it started to loosen up. And, okay, well, that's fine. That tells me apparently it wasn't locked up that horrendously bad if it did soak loose. If you're familiar with things yourself, sometimes they can be froze up so bad that they won't soak loose. Then what do you wind up doing? Okay, next thing, they rigged it up as a 24 volt system I came into the picture, I discovered all this. And so, just me being me, I decided to look over things, double check. He had the books, what have you. He's got all the books. I decided, to look at the alternator stamp. I decided to look at the stamping on the starter, what have you. Yeah, and it revealed 12 volt. All of it, the whole 9. Alright. So, that told me I had to redo the battery situation. I had to come up and redo everything. By this point, these guys were no longer in the picture. I guess, from what I'm getting, they walked. Whatever. There might be an explanation for it. Personally, messing around like this with this gentleman, I'm not going to say he's a bad guy to work with, but through some experience with this particular gentleman recently, I see things. I can possibly see why. Okay? That's, irrelevant. But anyway, this coffee sucks. But, so I started cranking on it. I started feeding it fuel. I separated the fuel tank. I don't know what fuel was in it when they started with it. So I took and separated the fuel supply and feeding it from the 5-gallon. I looked in the tank. This thing's full. I don't know if they added to it. I don't know if it was full when they started out. I don't know. It's got to be a good 40-gallon, 50-gallon deal. Got to be. But I started feeding it, 5-gallon can. I changed the filters, bled everything up, chased the fuel around to the distribution pump, bled it, purged it on the other side. At that point, started going over the preliminaries. Let's get this thing started. It's wanting to go. It's, right there. Then I start looking at the oil and coolant, whatnot. So I finally got it running. Took a few days. Finally got it running. A little bit. It took some doing. Might have been dirt, whatnot, slop, etc. When I got it going, it did go. I got it going. It didn't. It ran great at first. It ran great. Right. Apparently, right where it was, just about where it was supposed to be. It didn't get to run long. It would run, and then I have to shut it down for something. Start it again. Shut it down for something. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. I wanted to get to a point to where I could get it going, let it run a while, see what happens. Things didn't get to work that way. Finally, the starter wound up going out of it. Guy had to put a starter on it right off the door. Change that out. Okay, get it going again. It ran for a while. I'm thinking, okay, great, this ain't gonna run a while. Something else came up, shut it down. Okay, so by the time I got to where I could let it run a while, apparently it was too late. It ran, then it quit, run, quit on its own. So I did a little more looking around. We wound up having to throw a pump on it, injection pump. Before that, we wound up throwing another transfer feed pump, fuel. It took a few days. We got to the injection pump. Right now where it sits, at that right there, I'm hoping it's okay. I pretty sure I did the best I could to put it back where it was supposed to be, where it needed to be. I didn't get to pull the whole works out of what do you call it, the timing cover. There's a tape, there's a gear in the cover. There's an access plate, two bolts. It's about that big. 2 bolts, pull that off. You can get to, that'll give you some access to the bolt on the pump shaft. That'll allow the shaft to slide out of the gear. I got that off. Because it's in this machine, everything's in the way. There's a radiator, there's the lower radiator hose, and then the radiator is right there. I mean, like right there. I had gone over some literature and a couple of videos here on YouTube of this pump being removed just by merely sliding the whole pump out and the shaft staying with the gear. Yeah, it's about that long or so. If you can see that, I don't know. I'm going to say roughly 3.5, 4 inch. It could be 3 3/4 inch long, something like that. If you take and reuse that shaft, all you do is change the 2 umbrellas on that shaft. One faces the pump to keep fuel from transferring into the base, and then there's one ahead of it that keeps engine oil going to the injection pump. Just change them, no big deal. I was hoping that we get the pump, there would be a kit, whatnot. I was also hoping that this pump didn't come with a shaft because of this application. Who knows? Shake the dice and see what happens. I wanted to open this thing up to take a look. I didn't get to. I was like moved around, bounced from this, that, and the other, interruptions. It never happened. When I took the pump out, I had to pull the valve cover because I couldn't locate, number one, by a glow plug, because there is no glow plugs on this thing. The only thing I could do was to pull the injector and see, figure out where it's at. That didn't happen. I didn't want to play with the injectors because of the way they go in. They're a long pintle injector, which is not so bad, but the way they hold down, it's a pain. They got the spacer and they got these shims and the one bolt that runs down through the band and all that crap. I didn't want to fool with it if I didn't have to. I had a problem with one further down the block that I had to play with and get it secured better, and it was a pain in the neck. Again, going after what somebody else did. Put the pump in. I haven't tried it yet. When I pulled the pump, I seen to it that the little window with the basket mark, if you know what I'm talking about, the weight basket, and then there's a rotor with a mark on it. I did more or less confirm that was right, in line. I did get that much, so in theory, what I did was I took, even if I had to curl the pump a little bit, make those two come together. It's the best I could do. It should be right. So where we stand was, I took the pump to go get changed out, and that was roughly a week later. I was told real quick to take all of the injectors out. Take them with me. He's going to pop test them. See where we're at. That's fine. That's a smart thing to do. Okay, it's fine. Anything short would have been trying to cut corners. Okay. So I did that. Took the pump up there. He checked them. I got a pump. Needless to say, they failed. Didn't have them on hand, what have you. They would be in. That took a few days. They were supposed to be ready the next day, but I didn't get any verification of anything of, part supply from the part supplier that these things were ready. There was nothing going on. I wound up doing other things for 2 days. So I didn't get back to it. Finally, he gets an ant up his, let's find out about these injectors. So, he didn't give me the authorization exactly on the spot. Just say, hey, look, we need them and get them. Yeah, I wanted to leave that on to him, make that decision. I would be all for it, but nothing was said about, hey, get these things too. So I just got the injectors in. It's hard to explain. I'm going to see if I can do something about trying to put some pictures into this to go with the upload. These injectors, when you get them, there's a nut that has to go over top of the shaft to put your return cap over on it so you can snug it up. Well, this wasn't included in these. Why, I don't know. In order to put them on, you have to take and pull this whole injector to get to the bottom nut off, so you can put this piece on top of it and put it all back together. Now, there's a metering valve on the very top of the injector that you're supposed to keep track of when you're doing all this. I did too. I don't know where we're going to stand. Why they didn't include this? Because I mean, like, these things could be all out of whack now. For all I know, I have no clue. I don't know how they're. I don't know. So that's where we stand. Yeah. All right. So we'll see what happens this week with this thing. Yeah, we'll see what happens this week, and maybe I could do some more with this. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day. Have a good one. Be blessed. And if you like this video, I don't seem to put a whole lot up, but that can change if I can get, some likes and some interaction, some views. It would be great. Then I kind of know what you guys like. I can try to put up more of that. All right. Anyway, yeah. Like the video. If you want to see more of what I do, at least for now, from time to time, be sure to subscribe. It doesn't cost nothing. And that'll be great to have you a part of my group. So, once again, thank you for watching. And be sure to like this video.